I'm Clara Monck, and this is Inside the Eight. I started playing soccer when I was about 4 years old. I started with the Calgary Wizards and moved to Foothills when I was about 10, and I've been with Foothills for about 8 years now. My soccer career really started to take off in about 2023 when I attended the Top 60 event with FTF, and then in the summer of 2024 I verbally committed to Kent State University. This year I traveled in March with the Calgary Wild on their preseason trip to Denver, Colorado, later signing a youth development permit with them, and then making my professional debut with the Calgary Wild on June 5th. And then shortly after, I had the opportunity to represent Canada with the U17 team in the Four Nations tournament in Mexico City, and then a few weeks later captain Team Alberta at the Canada Summer Games. And as of November 12th, I signed my official letter of intent to play Division I soccer at Kent State University. I've always had aspirations to play at the next level in post-secondary soccer, so FTF just had the most amount of exposure for those post-secondary opportunities. That's why I chose FTF. The Open Combine is a different kind of challenge just because you're playing with teammates you've never played before, coaches you've never had before, so it's a big adjustment in terms of adapting to playing style and teammates and being diverse in that way. And then obviously just getting to play in front of coaches is great, and even getting to play against girls that I usually have to compete against in Alberta, and just getting to play the best players in the province. Top 60 event was great. It was a great challenge in terms of playing. You go from playing the best players in the province to playing the best players in the country, so it's a really big step up and a big change for sure. And it was a great opportunity for me to showcase myself in front of that many more coaches, and Top 60 was where Kent State University saw me first play and play live, so it was definitely a great opportunity for me. In almost all of the calls that I had with college coaches on June 15th were coaches that had seen me at either an FTF event, All-Star event, or things like NDC Cup, which is promoted by FTF. So it just opened up a ton of doors for me, and specifically at Top 60, like I said, Kent State University first saw me there. They ended up following me on Instagram, and I continued to email them, do my research on them in this program, and they continued to watch me progress as a player, and I ended up being one of their first calls on June 15th. Especially as a Canadian player, it's so much more difficult to get scouted, especially at these American combines, American showcases, ID camps in specific. So having FTF, it really showed lots of exposure for Canadian players to compete against one another and just show that we can compete, especially as Canadians, and it was just really good exposure for collegiate coaches across the country and across the states as well. I think FTF just opened that many more doors of possibilities for post-secondary soccer for me, and just having that many more connections with coaches as well. It did set me up in terms of having to play under challenging circumstances, like multiple games a day, new players, new coaches, so I think it's a good experience to be able to adapt on the fly.
Throughout Clara's involvement with FTF, we've really seen her grow in terms of her confidence for sure, her adaptability as a player, and her leadership qualities as well. It puts her in an environment that's uncomfortable, not the usual teams, not the usual environments, often asked to step up in different roles with the FTF events, and she's really stepped up. So for us, it's really helped to help her progress her game and kind of grow as a player and a person as well. As a parent, when they were quite young, you dream of what might come for them, and as Clara had alluded to in her interview question, she's kind of gone up the ranks with the club, representing her province and country, and FTF just help up that game and up that exposure at the levels that she wants to be at next. So as she alluded to, some of the NCAA coaches coming to these FTF events certainly lend themselves to the exposure that she was looking for, and certainly to see her sign in the NCAA was a huge goal for her, and certainly for my wife and I, very, very fulfilling.
So I've been coaching probably for around about 15 to 17 years in total. I've been in Canada now for 13 years. And out of those 13 years, probably half the time I've actually spent coaching Clara. I would definitely say it was significant in helping Clara. I know that she attended 6 or 7 of the events that you guys run. The exposure is invaluable for players like Clara, and in particular for Clara. And it enabled her to get a place at a school that she was targeting. So we're very excited to see how that journey continues. I think the events that she's attended, they were well thought out. They were well positioned in terms of the yearly sort of calendar for the girls, and well attended by university coaches. So it was great to see that this paid off for them.
I'd say effort, intensity, and work rate is something that you can always control. It's never something that a coach is going to be able to tell you or teach you, and always to just be a hardest working player on and off the field. Growing up, I was never the fastest or the strongest, most skilled player. But I think what set me apart was my intensity and my work rate on and off the field, and I think it caught the eyes of coaches and really helped me stand out.